In this video, I'm going to talk about splitting and combining back together parallel paths in your workflow. Now, just the other day, I had somebody in my community ask me for assistance because he had a process where he was bringing in PDFs and he was splitting the PDF into two branches, one that would look at the image, OCR it in order to read what was on the document. And then he also wanted to upload it into Google Drive. And then at the end, he was going to combine it all into one process that he would then do something else with it. And so like there was more to this here, but it broke. And it was breaking on the merge node and he couldn't figure out why. And so I want to discuss really quick kind of what happens when you split data apart and what do you need to do in order to bring it together. Now, something to understand is what's in between here in the split. For you, for your workflows, it could be far more complicated. You could have, a ton more, maybe another sheet in here, or like say a create sheet or something, just something. Understand that. Well, that went way over there. Understand that the process in between is not necessarily that important. It's whatever you want to have happen to your data, and we don't even necessarily need the if. If the if just kind of here is for the sake of showing you how this particular workflow is going to work. But say you have a piece of data that you want to go through two processes. It's important to understand what's happening and what's really going on, and then how do you bring it all back together in the end. So for him, he was sending the data down two paths like this. It was running through a process, it was OCRing it, and then it was coming back here, and then another process was coming in and just uploading it to his Google Drive because he wanted a link to be able to put into the spreadsheet with the text of the OCR in order to be able to put it all together for further usage. All right, so that was the setup we were working with. And here in the merge node, what he was doing was he was trying to merge together two entirely different things rather than the fact that it's the same thing. And so I guess how do I put this in a more straightforward way? Let me go with the example I was going to show you. We'll do that. So here I have an if node, if, and we're going to go ahead and make my value of the if. Let's pull the info from my spreadsheet, and I just have a simple spreadsheet here with just some basic data, some names, status, and a progress number. All right. So if the name or if the status is set to hot, it'll go north or up. If it's cold, it'll go south. So, and then we have two processes. And the processes, all we have here is a set field. It's just setting the name, the status. And here I have the data, the progress being put in here, but I have it called growth. And this is kind of duplicating the issue he had in a way. Down here, I have it called progress, right? Progress, even though it's number 2. So in fact, I can actually grab the number itself. And then he was merging it together. And when he was merging it together, he was using a combine using matching fields, and he was attempting to match the fields that he thought these things were called. All right. And so here, what he was doing is he was pulling from a spreadsheet, the name of the spreadsheet, column, and then the other one, he was trying to grab the text, and he was trying to merge text field with a column header from a spreadsheet and put them together. And that's not at all how this particular node works. I have another video on how merge nodes work. I'll put a link in the description below so you can learn all about merge nodes. But that's not how combine works. So you're not necessarily combining two separate things and putting them together. That's not what this is happening here. A combine takes a field that is the same here as it is here, and it's merging all of the other fields together. So if I come over here and if I try to merge the progress, because again, I'm basing it off of the column header of progress. If I try to execute this, I'm not getting any data out. And that's because over here we can see I don't have a field named progress in both. However, if I did it as name and do an execute on this, I got nothing. And the reason I got nothing is because none of the names are the same. All right, so combining only works if one of these elements is the same, that it's able to grab from both sets of data that's coming in and then put them together to move forward. Instead, what I had to show him to do was, because he's trying to take essentially two different types of data and put them together, what you instead want to do is you want to use an append. All right, append with two inputs. When we execute this step, then I'm going to get my 4 clients here, except I have the data that came in through the process that happened here. So the edit field node changed the data. Instead of having this called progress, even though it was called progress in the spreadsheet, see, I called it growth. And again, this is just demonstrative of whatever process you have the data coming through as, right? It doesn't really matter to me how you're processing your data. I'm just trying to show you how to bring it back together. And so here, our output shows, object number 1 here, has growth. Object 2 has growth. Object 3 had progress, which is how I set it up in my edit field node. And so now all 4 items are combined together in a way, and then to pass it through as a single item, you just do an aggregate node using all items into a single list. And then when we run this, it's going to come out with 1 item that then can be processed further however you want. Or if you wanted each of the 4 items to be 4 items, you can do it that way. Just be aware, even if you were working with 1 item split in half. So if I didn't have this if node here, if I ran it like this, I'd actually have 8 items because I had 4 going up, 4 going down, getting added together. The 4 plus 4 equals 8. And so then just understand that's what was happening for him. He was getting the OCR'd text of his PDF documents with the drive link put together through the merge node. When you append it, he was getting 2 items, which is why you need to use the aggregate node. So hopefully this was helpful in explaining a little bit about how to split data apart, through either an if node or even just branching it apart. You can have multiple branches. However you need to process your data, if it needs to be split into different processes, to being able to bring it back together, understand that if you don't have a common name that matches, not just a common field, but the information in that field needs to match. So you can split this across, user names. In this case, I didn't. I was splitting it based on, hot and cold. But if I come over here and I bring this together with a combine based on name, then I will get 4 outputs. And you'll see here I have growth 1, progress 1, growth 2, progress 2, growth 1, progress 1. And that's because the name is being sent up both paths and it's being processed somehow. Here in this case, a name, a status, and a growth. And down here we have a name, a status, and a growth. And the status happens to match each time because it was the same. It's combining the matches. It's keeping the matches. So there's different ways to use the merge node. Just understand when you're splitting data apart in this way, to be able to bring it together, you have to match it on a field that has the same data in it, or you're going to have to append it together to be able to then pass forward either as separate items or to aggregate it together as a single item, again, single item, to be able to pass through into the rest of your workflow, to be able to go through whatever other process you want. So really helpful if you want have a lead status coming in for potential clients, and depending on where they're at, you can process different people different ways, on different branching paths like this, and then ultimately merge them together at the end, and then have them all go through one final path, maybe move them to a different spreadsheet or have them send out an email or what have you. Just understand that that's the system that or the process you need to follow in order to make this happen. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. If so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. It really does help get this information out there to those who need it. Also, if you want additional helpful n8n tutorials, please make sure to check out my free school community. Not only do I have tutorials, I have a ton of free workflows ranging from social media posting bots, executive assistants, lead scrapers, and so much more, all available for free right within that free school community. As always, I'm Bradford Carlton. Let's automate your success together.